This contest, 15 rounds for the heavyweight championship of the world, from Wales, weighing 204.5, wearing black trunks, making his first American pugilistic bout, and recognized as the heavyweight champion of the British Empire, Tommy Farr. Weighing 197, wearing purple trunks, the internationally famous Detroit Brown Bomber, recently crowned the new heavyweight champion of the world, Joe Louis.
All right, Joe. All right, Farr. You just swing around in here, right? In the middle. Now, I understand that both you men have been thoroughly instructed by the commission to the rules that govern boxing in this state. Is that so? Now, those rules should be fresh in your mind. Now, I don't wish to put my hands on either one of you. But when you break, and when I order you to break, I want you to stop hitting immediately, and I insist upon a clean break. Now that you realize the penalty that goes with a violation, a low blow, if you lose all the benefit of what you're doing around, if you just strike one low blow. Now remember that because it's very important to you. Now remember now, I also want you to break clean, and I want you to break when I tell you to do so. And don't shake hands after you leave the center of this ring. You hear? All right. Okay. And may the first man win. All right. And he doesn't know. You're feeling like that. All right, I insist. I insist. I can't be more explicit. Please, come on, man. All right. You'll move corner. All right, that's understood. I'll take care of that part. I'll take care of that part. All right. Okay.
Yankee Stadium in the Bronx. Joe Louis defending his world heavyweight title for the very first time against the tough Welshman here, Tommy Farr. 15 rounds of boxing anticipated. Get out. Tommy Farr, former British and Welsh heavyweight champion, reigning Empire champion. And Joe Louis, a very economical boxer, very, very economical mover, and a very hard puncher too. So Tommy Farr really up against it here. And Farr comes into the ring with a record of 66 wins, 18 by knockout, 21 defeats and 13 draws in 100 fights so far. And Joe Louis comes into the ring with a record of 36 wins, 30 by knockout, just one defeat in 37 fights. At one defeat, a 12th round knockout at the hands of Max Schmeling. Not a lot to shout about in round one as Tommy Farr and Joe Louis come out to trade blows. Tommy Farr, known as the Tony Pandy Terror, from the Rhondda Valley in Wales. And Joe Louis, despite being born in Lafayette, Alabama, is now a native of Detroit, Michigan, known as the Brown Bomber for obvious reasons. This is the first defense for Joe Louis, having beaten Jim Braddock for the title. It was an 8th round knockout. So far, looking to pick up points behind the left hand. Referee for this one, the very experienced Arthur Donovan. So round 3 of a scheduled 15. And Joe Lewis not wasting a single ounce of energy here. Tying up Farr on the inside. First defence, of course, for Joe Lewis of the heavyweight title. And he wants to make absolutely certain he gets this. And this is the biggest fight of Tommy Farr's career. And despite that loss to Max Schmeling, there's been some excellent wins on the Joe Lewis career, record so far. As I mentioned, Jim Braddock, he took the title off. Wins over Jack Sharkey, Max Baer, and Primo Carnero, to name but 3. Round 4 then, and Tommy Farr versus Joe Lewis, World Heavyweight title. And there's been some good form on the Tommy Farr record that gets him this match. Wins over Walter Neusel, a point over Max Baer, and of course that win over Ben Ford to bring him the Empire title. The win over Max Baer, by the way, overshadowed by Lewis's performance over the same man. It appears that Eddie Phillips was one of Tommy Farr's bogeymen earlier on in his career. Fought 3 times and Phillips won all of them. So a fairly low-key first 4 rounds as we come out for the 5th here. And Joe Lewis is an absolute master of the sport. Good jab there, smacking into Farr's face. And he slips so effortlessly. Powers a punch so well. Well, Farr there lands a right. Double left hook there from Joe Lewis, body and head. Well, beginning to pick up the pace now. And Joe Lewis, one of those fighters who does just about enough. Unless he really has to. So Joe Lewis, it looks like he's got a fairly comfortable ride on his hands here against Tommy Farr. So far boxing well within himself. Well, right uppercut there from Farr. Tommy Farr looks a wee bit hesitant in overcommitting himself. And who can blame him? Up against one of the finest fighters in the world. Cut over Tommy Farr's left eye now. Well, not a bad round this now for Farr. Quite busy. Once again, that left hand work from Tommy Farr, doing the business for him, picking up the points. Well, once again, a decent right to the body there from Tommy Farr, and this Welshman having a real good go. So a decent sixth round there for Tommy Farr. Can he build on that here? Joe Lewis, the reigning and defending champion, making the first defence of the heavyweight title here against the reigning Empire champion, former British and Welsh heavyweight title holder, Tommy Farr. That's a nice bit of work there from Joe Lewis. That left hook of his is an absolute peach. Well, Joe Lewis there switches a lovely left hook to the body. Round 8 coming up then, and Joe Lewis, well, he's decided to vary his attacks here now, head and body, both hands, particularly useful with the left hook. And Tommy Farr looking to pick up points, of course, behind that left jab of his. Easier said than done against a supreme boxer here in Joe Lewis. Well, a right-hand attack there from Farr. Lewis just popping out that left jab, very laconically at times. But still doing enough to keep Farr busy. Oh, nice bit of work there from Tommy Farr. Again, a decent right there from the Welshman. Then comes in behind the left hook. So a decent round again, this for Tommy Farr. And a very good sixth, remember. And when he puts Lewis under pressure, it really does show. Ninth round. So an excellent 8th there for Tommy Farr to go along with his good 6th. Round 7, there wasn't much between them. And this is Tommy Farr's big moment. The biggest fight of his life. Tommy Farr has done 15 rounds previously, so that shouldn't be a problem. But of course the nervous energy expended against a fighter like Joe Louis will take its toll. Thumping right there again from Farr. Well, Joe Louis needs to wake himself up a wee bit here. Another decent round this, I think, for the Welshman. Tenth round, and Tommy Farr has had a good spell for round 6 here through to 9, and Joe Louis, well, he needs to get himself back together. He's kind of eased off the gas. And I think Tommy Farr's problems will come if Joe Louis realises that the threat is great. He really step on the gas. But again, a couple of left hooks there from Tommy Farr. Well, Farr still bleeding for the left eye as once again Louis there lands a lovely combination. Left right to the face. Round 11 of a scheduled 15. And Joe Louis landed a lovely combination in the previous round, a left right to the face. And Joe Louis' face almost impassive as he goes about his job. Farr though still steaming in. And Joe Louis always prepared to defend himself when he lets a punch go. That right hand is always in the right position, except of course against Max Schmeling. Double jab from the champion, single to follow. So it looks like Joe Louis then has got control of this after a few hard rounds. And once again, Tommy Farr will not be denied. So virtually impassive Joe Louis then comes out for round 12 here, defending his title so far successfully against Tommy Farr, but Farr has had a good spell in the middle rounds, rounds 6 to 9. Some of the others have been close. Hook off the jab there from Farr. Joe Louis, such a dangerous operator when he steps up the pace. Well, Tommy Farr not quite as effective here in this round. Oh, the right hand missed. And Louis still picking up the points behind the left hand. Round 13, unlucky for some. Will it be unlucky for Tommy Farr? So far he's fought with very, very fine spirit here against Joe Louis to try and become the heavyweight champion of the world. But it has been almost a pure boxing match between these two men. The success that Tommy Farr has had really has come from a spate of aggression. I did say earlier that Joe Louis has been fairly passive throughout this, doing what he had to do. All of the hard work is done, of course, in the gym. Many, many rounds of sparring under their belts. And again, that double left hand for Joe Louis. That's a real nuisance for Tommy Farr. Well, Farr comes back the right over the top, but takes a left hook. Round 14, a neat, fluid footwork from the reigning champion, keeping him out of trouble. Well, Louis now trying to push the Welshman back. And of course, the harder that Farr tries, the more work Louis will do. But still a sterling effort this from Tommy Farr. And Louis is such a good boxer. such a good puncher. Fifteenth and final round then, and Tommy Farr looked fairly dejected at the end of the 14th. Didn't have a lot of luck. Let's see what he can do here. Can he take the champion out with one punch? And once again, master footwork there from Lewis. Well, looks like the Alabama native will keep hold of his title here. First fight outside of Britain for Farr, and he's acquitted himself well. He's up against the master champion. Well, those middle rounds for Tommy Farr were excellent, but before and after, it's been a tough one, and it looks like Lewis kept his title. So Joe Lewis should still be the heavyweight champion of the world, but an excellent effort there from the Welshman Tommy Farr.
The winner and still champion, Lewis.
And there's the official confirmation. Joe Lewis still the champion. 13 rounds to 1 and 1 even for the referee.